Sometimes plants appear in my garden that aren't wanted. But when these hollyhocks showed up, I was pleasantly surprised. I hadn't planted them. Maybe their unexpected presence was due to seed dispersal by the local birds. I remember how plentiful they were in many of my neighbors' gardens when I was growing up. Perhaps they're not as common now because of a rust fungus that attacks the leaves. These non-native members of the mallow family originated in China and were imported to the United States for their beauty, their medicinal properties. For more herbal information, check out this website. You can see how they're related to other plants in this group, like this large hibiscus, medium-sized rose of Sharon, and smaller wild mallow. Hollyhocks are biennials. In their first year, they grow as a low cluster of leaves to gather energy, so that in their second year they're able to flower and produce seeds. They thrive in sunny areas. They're garden sentinels as they tower over other plants. Luckily, they're not appealing to these hungry animals, like this sweet deer and this timid rabbit. I welcome the painted lady butterflies, whose caterpillars feed on the leaves, as well as the many bees who seek out the flowers for their nectar. And of course, I'm always excited whenever a hummingbird comes to visit. The appearance of hollyhocks is a sign of summer's arrival. They have several edible parts. Leaves have 5 to 7 lobes with serrated edges and pale veins on their undersides. Eat them raw or cooked, but only use young ones. I don't usually bother with them, as their texture isn't pleasing. You could say I'm fussy about fuzzy. Keep an eye on the leaves. When they get older, they're often attacked by the fungus I mentioned previously. This plant looks fine, but check out its leaves. Orange spots appear all over their surface. Cut the affected leaves off and dispose of them in the garbage, not in the compost pile. The delicate edible flowers don't open at the same time and come in many different shades, from white, pale yellow, pink, to deep maroon. They begin to bud in June, flower through late August, and produce many seeds, which guarantees they'll return next year. Pick ones that grow near the top, so it isn't necessary to wash them. Deadhead the faded blooms to encourage new growth. Their petals remind me of crepe paper. Look closely to see how fragile and beautiful they are. Use them in various ways. Make an infused beverage by putting petals in cold or room temperature water and let sit for a long time. Even though this drink is tasteless, I use the liquid to slowly simmer my morning cereal. Stuff the blossoms for an unusual appetizer. The whole flower can act as a cup to hold various fillings. The possibilities are endless. Hummus is always a versatile choice, as it can be combined with many other flavorings. Here I added what was in my garden. My fillings surround the stamens and pistils, which are soft and edible. But to be safe, anyone who's allergic to pollen should remove them, because the flower cups are chewy and a mouthful. A better choice might be to separate individual petals, use them as mini plates, put the filling on them, and eat them that way. Torn petals can be mixed into rice dishes or salads. Seeds ripen at different times and spread easily. Peel back their green covering to check them out. They're called cheeses due to their resemblance to cheese wheels. They remind me of buttons of various sizes. I eat small, young ones raw. They should be white. If they're brown, it's too late. Save them to plant for next year. At first, they have a fresh flavor, similar to raw corn kernels. If you keep on chewing, you'll find they're mucilaginous, like the other members of this plant family. Add a few at the last minute to sautéed vegetables. The process seems to lessen their texture. If heated for too long, the seeds become tough. I'm not the only one inspired by hollyhocks. Famous architect Frank Lloyd Wright used abstract depictions of these flowers for his hollyhock house, which he designed for a California heiress whose favorite flowers were hollyhocks. These flowers were the subject of several paintings by New Mexican artist Georgia O'Keeffe. In nearby Taos, members of the garden club adopted the hollyhock as their official symbol. I guess those hollyhocks appeared in my garden for a reason. I became curious and wanted to learn more about them, and as a result, I was motivated to make this video.